Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a cover-up. That is not up for debate. So there were courageous, heroic, brave, noble scientists from the largest country in the world, and I have stated repeatedly, I have a great deal of respect for the Chinese people, for the culture, the history of China, and whatever I report on has nothing to do with any animosity. If indeed the global catastrophe emanated from a facility in the region we're talking about, and it was covered up deliberately, or the truth is that it was engineered and it was then covered up, which is what President Trump has been saying for the past year, and which is what Democrats and media have ignored because it would be highly detrimental to their political careers and to the paradigm and the propaganda that they tried to communicate every single day for the past year. It's all Trump's fault. He slept while everybody suffered. And you know what? It was just a natural occurrence. And, our tax dollars didn't go to potentially engineering the end of the world. If that's the case, it not only exonerates Trump of all the fabricated, absurd, ludicrous ludicrous guilt that they've tried to impose upon him, but it proves that he's right yet again. And then we get to, so I am not, just based on YouTube guidelines and policies and also my honest viewpoint, I don't report on this because I have any animosity or any disdain. Any negative feelings I have is more for a political party within my country than any other, foreign nation. But here, Representative McCall and House GOP's report, greatest cover-up in human history. It's a communist country. Speaking of communist parties, the Democratic Party, President Biden, our beloved President Biden, who was accused himself and didn't resign of misconduct that Cuomo is being accused of, has now called for Cuomo to resign. Does that make sense? Well, of course it does if you're a liberal, morally superior liberal Democrat, you say, well, Trump 25 allegations, Biden only 13. So therefore, if you have more allegations, therefore, those allegations are more accurate or genuine, and you should believe them. Whereas you shouldn't believe Biden's because there's only 13. But there's one criminal report that the New York Times and Vice and all the other wonderful liberal publications didn't want to address. Barely, they reported on it, but in the manner of, well, if you lie during a criminal report, a police report, then you can actually go to jail. And in terms of the difference in coverage, Kavanaugh, Trump, Biden, Trump, and Kavanaugh, there's no set value system. That's why, they spent forever trying to find out if Trump worked with Russia, but they don't care at all if the end of the world, the reaction to it was the end of the world, actually. But if a possibly engineered type of organism started in another country in a facility or laboratory that we helped fund during President Obama's administration, that's a fact. It's so difficult for Democrats to just understand basic logic. This could have taken place. If it did, it's not good for President Obama's legacy. You can add this possible debacle and catastrophe to his NATO intervention in Libya, which caused the country to become a failed state. But ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, we're going to get to Cuomo and Biden, but I want to thank my super thanks. If you want to support this channel via the super thanks, the link is below, and it's right next to the share and the like buttons. I thanked recently a whole bunch of people, and I just want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to support this channel, your support via super thanks is so greatly, it's so important. It's like super chat, but for uploads, and it's right next to the like and the share buttons down below. And so to the right of the share and like buttons is super thanks. And if you want to buy me a cup of coffee or support the channel in, greater ways, your support is greatly appreciated. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people who are facing a discrimination case. So you can't find anyone on the left that isn't a gigantic hypocrite when it comes to their alleged value system. Anyway, Andrew Cuomo now. So before we get to Andrew Cuomo, Representative McCall on House GOP's report, greatest cover-up in human history. It may be may have been circulating as early as September, the report says. I talked about this earlier today. There's satellite images that they reference. There's a waste management, the waste treatment systems in the research facilities that needed to be replaced after a short period of time. Air safety facilities that needed to be replaced after a short period of time. There were the World Military Games, where 9,000 people entered the country right around the time where this could have begun. So you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where you have a situation where all of this could have taken place during a very sensitive moment in human history when a possibly engineered organism had inadvertently left a facility that it should have stayed in. You had a whole bunch of things taking place, like I said, and you had a whole bunch of bizarre events that the report talks about. He also, Representative McCall wants Peter Daszak to testify because we've already had Dr. Fauci. He wants another top scientist who's part of the organization that sent $3.4 million from the National Institute of Health to the various facilities, 600,000 of the 3.4 million. So the way they fact check is fact check. 3.4 million didn't go to that facility in question. Actually, only 600,000 did. 600,000, and that money began during President Obama's administration. But it wasn't 3.4 million. See, that's wrong. And it's like, well, $600,000 shouldn't have gone to that facility anyway. You have very, very courageous scientists in that country who lost their lives or risked their lives, telling the world that this very likely was a leak of some sort from a facility, which is exactly what Trump was saying. But they didn't believe it because it was Trump. These people have, if you have derangement issues pertaining to Trump, you're the problem, not President Trump. You're the problem. 74 million Americans are going to vote for him again, despite your apoplectic, hysterical reaction to a person who signed prison reform legislation, signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, and made the funding permanent, also got a greater percentage of the non-white vote than any Republican in 60 years. The rebuttal is, well, Bush got a greater percentage. Well, it's like, that's one rebuttal, and that's one researcher found that to be the case. The Newsweek article is still there. But even if that's the case, he did better among non-white voters than he did in 2016. So, and he negotiated a deal to bring Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. But here you have Cuomo. The Trump curse hit Cuomo like it did Eric Schneiderman, like it did Jussie Smollett and Peter Strzok and Andrew McCabe, and the endless list of people who have devoted their lives to going after Trump, only to then resign or eventually be exposed or revealed for who they really are. Give me your thoughts below. This is Democratic politics. Biden's telling Cuomo to resign. The president should, our beloved president should resign if he thinks Cuomo should resign. He was accused also. And there was a formal police report, police complaint against him. But see, that's Democratic politics. They're the ones who can get away with pretty much anything, but it's like there's no value system there. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.